What's up, stars? It's your girl Ivory Star with this week's Ratchet Astrology Report. We're here. It's full moon. We're here. So we're going to talk about 3 astrological events in this video. We're going to talk about Uranus upgrades that happen first. It's adventure time. Uranus is the planet of unpredictability and all things different and rebellion and freedom and all those type of things. It is also the ruler of Aquarius, whose part 2 full moon, because July full moon was also in Aquarius. This full moon is also in Aquarius, so this is the wrap up of that. It's very rare. And we're going to talk about the sun moving into Virgo out of Leo. Virgo season. Where the Virgos at? Where the Virgos at? Okay. So, I think I'm going to talk about this retrograde first, because now all of our, they say transpersonal, generational, outer planets, just the bigger planets that control a bigger collective of people. Okay, so like you have your personal planets that's like true to you and, kind of makes up your personal identity, which includes the sun, your sun sign, the moon, okay, Venus, Mars, and Mercury. And those planets are, our personal planets because they transit more than these bigger outer planets and, don't affect as a large crowd of people, okay? It kind of makes up your personal astrological identity. But so do your generational planets, because that's where a lot of your themes in the way that you run your life are based in those outer planets. So all of them are in retrograde. So we got Neptune, right? Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, and now Uranus has joined the parade of retrograde. So let's talk about that, okay? Because all of this is causing major shifts. We're looking at things different. Look at how the world is, how everything is changing and, different things are happening. So this retrograde, and then we're going to probably go into Virgo season. I have horoscopes for you, and then we're going to wrap it up with the full moon Aquarius, where I also have a full moon reading in Aquarius for you, tarot, okay? So first, let's talk about this retrograde we got going on in Uranus. This is forcing us to reflect and purge what is not serving us. How many times I have to say it? Like, during retrograde, something is supposed to come up. Something that may have been holding you back. Some type of attachment that you might have attached yourself to that's really not serving you any purpose no more. We all do it. It's a part of life. So, this is where you're trying to reflect. If it's holding back, basically, the theme around Uranus, because all these retrogrades have a theme, because planets have a certain, concept that they rule over on the inside of us. And Uranus is talking about your freedom. So this is about letting things go that are taken away from you being your truest self and walking in total freedom, okay? So this is what we're purging up. And it's going to be here until January 18th. So, you get to make it through the New Year's, and then you get on the other side of New Year's and look back at all the things that you let go that was holding you back from you being your true self, okay? It could be ideas, themes, whatever. So this is the planet of unexpected change, and it's been in the dependable and stubborn Taurus, okay? So remember, these retrogrades, they just don't happen alone. They are inside of a sign, inside of a constellation. The constellations cover the entire sky. And this one happens to be in Taurus. So this retrograde of Uranus is happening in Taurus. And Taurus, that's the bull. That's the stubborn sign, dependable, there where you need them at to be, and they're going to stay there, okay? So that's why they get a reputation for being stubborn also, because they get set in their ways. On the positive side, they're dependable, but that dependability can translate into stubbornness, okay? If you try to get them to move or change at your pace and not theirs, okay? And this is where Uranus has been since 2018. So there are certain changes in your long-term goals. Remember, when we're thinking about outer planets, the big planets, the ones that I named, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and I'm missing one more, Pluto, you're thinking long-term. You're thinking on a much larger scale, okay? And And the square off is having with Saturn. Now, Saturn is also in retrograde. So this retrograde is squaring off with Saturn retrograde, the planet of discipline. So you might be having a little back and forth going on. Like, you don't know what to do. Like, what's too much freedom and what's too much discipline? Maybe you're too restricted, or maybe you being too free. And this is about finding balance between the two. And it's going to just show us where we need to be liberated, okay? Because, you know, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Like, maybe you've been, you know, maybe you've been repressed in a certain area, but there's a certain way to go about it, because you don't want to liberate and free yourself and destroy your reputation, or, you know, put yourself in a bad situation, okay? The Saturn and Uranus square only happens every 22 years. And I am 34, okay? So when it happened before, I was too young to understand what was going on. But this is where you take these videos and this information that I give you, and you go back. Go back, okay? Try to go back, jog your memory, and think about things that were going on. Even look up old headlines if you have to. Go look up old headlines and stuff from 22 years ago. Find out what was going on. Figure out where you were, okay? And figure out, you know, even though you probably were young, you know what I'm saying? You probably were a child, but a lot of the themes and stuff that we have to change are based around our childhood. So do not be afraid to go back and research things that was going on during that time, to jog your memory and go back and see what could have changed you during that time, because a lot of the changes that took place within us, they took place when we are a child. So we have to revisit that and do our inner child work to make sure that we didn't leave anything unturned, any type of trauma that we might have buried. We got to unbury it and, you know, take care of that and heal. You know, it's all about healing for real. Okay, our eyes will be open to harsh realities and things that make you move around in your seat a little bit. Some shit gonna make you uncomfortable, okay? Some things are gonna come up and it's probably gonna make you uncomfortable, because the universe is trying to open your eyes like this, where we've been walking around with rose-colored glasses on, okay, and not really paying attention to the things that are going on around us that are affecting us and maybe causing trauma to us and our children, okay? Sometimes we subconsciously take in trauma, and then when we release it back into our activities or back into our world or back into our relationships, or we carry it with us, we don't even understand that we are inflicting trauma back out, because we're not even paying attention to the traumas and things that we are taking in and inflicting on others. So, you know, this retrograde is going to open your eyes up, because Uranus rules over the planet of Aquarius. And we know Aquarius is the planet of humanitarian change, eccentrics, truth, and all those type of things, right? So, you know, this is going to be a reality check for a lot of us, okay? Because it's time for a reality check. Everything can't be roses and positivity and beautiful rituals and all those type of things. There's work to be done here. There's inner child work, shadow work, all type of work that needs to be done that you might not even be aware of is going on inside of you, causing this internal battle and causing you blockages, okay? So, you know, it might be time to get uncomfortable a little bit. It's time for a reality check with this retrograde. But Uranus is also the planet of innovation, genius, and breakthroughs. Aquariuses are full of so many ideas, right? Look at all the Aquariuses that you know. Go look up stars and celebrities and stuff that were born in Aquarius, okay? And look at the things that they come up with and the ideas that they have and how they move throughout the world, okay? Innovation, genius, breakthroughs, and it's easier to tap into that energy during the retrograde. So if you've been trying to break forth with an idea, don't think that it's all about reality checks and being uncomfortable and seeing the truth for what it really is. This is also a time where you can take that truth and turn it into an innovative idea. Tap into your genius power, okay? Make a breakthrough. That's what the reality check is for. Like, you've gotten stagnant. You might have gotten stagnant in a place. So retrogrades, they come to turn you around, check you, so you can go forward with some type of breakthrough. Okay, so embrace your freedom, okay, because that's what it's really about. All the uprooting, breakdowns, and breakthroughs are pointing us in the right direction, and it might even be some breakouts, breakups. You don't know, because like I said, Uranus is the planet of unpredictability. You don't know how this change is going to come, but you know that it's coming, okay? And during retrograde, the need for change is even stronger, because all about, you know, rewind, return, reflect, looking over again, okay? So, shakeups, Taurus, like I said, this retrograde is happening in Taurus, so there's going to be some shakeups in your finances and possible breakups in your relationships, because like I said, your eyes are going to be wide open now. So things that you couldn't see before, you're going to be able to see them now, and it's going to cause some issues like, man, I'm not doing this right, or man, this really ain't what I thought it was. You're going to see things for what they are, and this is going to be your opportunity to change them, okay? Because look, I know, like, when I get to talking about finances and money and that you might have to break people up and cut people off, that's already uncomfortable, because you already got that person in your head that you know you need to let go of, right? But you need to understand something. When you are transcending and you're on your spiritual journey, it's about zero attachments and zero expectations. You should be going into this thing with zero attachments and zero expectations. And I don't mean like attachments like you got to cut off your whole family, but I mean with that in your mind, knowing that where this person is in their journey and where you are in my journey, at some point you might not meet in the middle anymore, and you might have to break apart, okay? That's what I mean by zero attachment and zero expectation. Quit going into things thinking that, you know, go in with a positive mindset. I'm not telling you going into things expecting the worst, but you need to go in expecting nothing, hoping for the best, but knowing that the worst can happen, okay? So, you know, zero expectation is about being real, okay? All this whole retrograde, Uranus retrograde, it's all about being real. Real with yourself, real with others, real with places where you might have been holding yourself back or allowing others to hold you back, and embracing your freedom through this retrograde, okay? It's also an opportunity because there is always something to let go during retrograde. There is always something to let go. I don't care how perfect your life may look. I don't care how long you've been on your spiritual journey. You got to this place because of things that were put inside of you, things that you have picked up along the way, so on and so forth. And trust me, there is always something to let go during retrograde, especially with the times changing at the way that they are and all the other shifts and stuff that are happening. I know there's something to let go during retrograde, and do it. I don't care if it's something small. It could just be a little bitty bad habit. It could be something, it could be, you know, a way that you organize. You've been doing something a certain way for years when it pertains to your relationships, because remember that this retrograde is happening in Taurus. So, you know, it would be a good thing to look up different Taurus attributes, things that are things about Taurus, as well as looking up things about Uranus and looking up things about Aquarius. Those are things that you can look up to kind of give you a guide of where you might want to make some changes at it, looking at the attributes of that planet and those signs, okay? To let go of all the relationship drama you have suffered and understand your worth, okay? We are breaking away from things that oppress us and weigh us down. Uranus is not about oppression. That's why it rules over the sign of Aquarius, the rebel sign, the revolutionary sign. Think Angela Davis. Like, every time I think about Aquarius, because she had an Aquarius sun and Aquarius moon, she was an activist and, you know, a catalyst for change, and she wrote books and she protested, she marched, she spoke, she tried to, you know, really about social justice and change, which is really one of the main attributes about Aquarius. So this may be a thing for you. Where can you help with the cause of social justice, especially the way that the world is turning and changing right now? So accept the challenge to change with this retrograde, okay? Accept the challenge to change and just to go deeper. Go deeper. What's holding you back from saying what you really want to say? What's holding you back from doing what you really want to do? What's holding you back from really finding your calling? What's blocking you? What's blocking you? Okay, so let's look at those blockages. It could be, and remember, it's in Taurus, so it could be financial, it could be relationship stuff, but whatever it is, take the time, meditate, reflect on it, journal, really get it out and look at it, sit with it, and figure out, where can I break free? and accept the challenge to change. Free your mind, okay? Free your mind. So, on the 22nd, Virgo season starts. Are you ready to get organized and detailed and analytical and all those type of things? This is the time where we tend to set our lives back in order because we've been kicking it for Leo season, right? So what's right before Leo season? Cancer. You know what I'm saying? We've been, chilling this summer. You go Gemini, Cancer, and then right into Leo season. And now we're going into Virgo. And Virgo is always back to school, back to work, back to the basics. You know what I'm saying? Beach parties and all that stuff are ending, and all the little outside events and stuff like that. We're going back indoors, okay? So Virgo season is all about paying attention to detail. Virgos are very detailed, okay? They notice everything. They know how to place things and get things together, okay? And coming behind Leo, who brings all this crazy, chaotic, creative energy where we coming up with all type of ideas and things for big old parties and all of our big dreams and desires, and we just walking around with our chest puffed out during Leo season, okay? Virgo comes as the voice of reason and logic, okay? Shifting into Virgo, there's going to be a stellium. A stellium is when 3 or more planets gather together in one sign, and Sun, Mars, and Mercury are all going to be shifting into Virgo, okay? So we activated our big plans, our big dreams, our big desires during Leo season. And this is where we take action during Virgo season to get organized and act on them. Okay? Leo season puts you in the spotlight. Now, Virgo season lets us get to work. Okay? So you put it out there during Leo season. Now it's time to get in the back and work on it. Okay? The clean out is still happening. Okay, we are cleaning things out. All these planets ain't in retrograde for nothing. Why do you think all these generational planets are in retrograde at the same time? Because the whole generation is changing. The whole world is changing how we see things, how things are being operated. We're going into a new futuristic age of being able of having ways to do things. Okay. Eventually, y'all probably be watching me on a hologram for all you know, okay? You don't know where the world is changing and all type of ideas and stuff are being birthed forth. So the clean out is still happening. And Virgos are all about cleaning shit out, okay? But Virgo season is a time of healing, details, and being grounded, okay? We coming down off of party season, looking at our finances, getting everything in order. So we can go back to school, back to work, back to the basics, okay? So I have some horoscopes for Virgo season. And remember, when we listen to our horoscopes, we listen for our rising and we listen for our sun, because those are the two that we operate around others the most, okay? You can also look for your moon, okay, because that's your emotional landscape. But, as far as these go for Virgo season, I would focus mostly on the sun and the rising, okay? So we're going to go ahead and start with Virgo. Virgo is your season, okay? And the sun is coming to shine on you. Mainly your personal desires and how you present yourself. So it's going to be all about sprucing up your image and focusing on showing your true self to the world. All that analyzing, all that organizing, all that detailing you've been doing, Virgo. Now it's time for you to show it off, because the world needs to get organized too. Okay, so we need some of that out in the world, Virgo. So, take a look at your personal image. This is a good time to revamp your social media. Maybe start you a blog about organizing, detailing, style, some art, makeup, beauty. All those Venetian things, the things that come from Venus. Think Venus, you know what I'm saying, when you sprucing up your image, okay? Trying out fun new styles and accessories, Virgo, it's time. Let's get the world in order, okay? We need that detail. We need that organization, okay? Libra. Quiet reflection and restoration for personal transformation and luxurious self-care. So for you, Libra, during Virgo season, it's all about self-care. Now, know that Virgo rules the sixth house, which is the house of wellness, self-care, and all those type of things, okay? So this is a time for you to tap into that energy, Libra, and take care of yourself, okay? Take care of yourself. It's time for you to draw back a little bit from the crowd, from the friends, and from the excitement of life so you can complete this personal transformation that you're going through, okay? You shedding your skin, little caterpillar, and you're trying to turn into a butterfly, but it's time for you to go into the cocoon a little bit and really reflect on things and restore yourself and, you know, indulge in some serious self-care, luxurious self-care. I'm talking the good baths with the nice bath bombs from Soul Shop for one night. Scorpio, get with your positive friends, okay? Scorpio, they'll help you get in tune with service to others and your own values. You might be detaching away from your values because Scorpio has had a lot of things based around their work life, okay? So you might have gotten detached from service, focusing on work too much, because, you know, service, we have to have service, okay? We have to be in service to one another. This is how, you know, you give a little and you gain a lot, okay? Because everybody doesn't understand a servant's heart, where how you can just give and not ask for anything in return. That's the attitude that we need to have in a lot of different areas, okay? It's not always about what am I going to get back. You're going to get back, okay? Anytime everybody who works gets paid, okay? So even if you're working for free, you're working in service to somebody else, guess what? You're still going to get paid. But if you, even when you're working for selfish reasons, you're working for the wrong side, you're doing dark work and dark energy and all this other stuff, you're going to get paid for that too. But Scorpio, it's not about that right now. It's about the fact that you've been working very hard at your career, and now it's time for you to get into some service. Virgo, it's all about analyzing and using the power of positive thinking. So you got to get around your positive friends, Scorpio, and find some active service that will be edifying to you, okay? Give a little, gain a lot, all right? Sagittarius, it's time to buckle down and focus on your career goals. Find the middle ground between showing off and being too critical, which is a negative trait of Virgo, okay? We all got our negative traits. We all got our positive traits because the world cannot exist without negative and positive, okay? So one of the things about Virgo, they can be too critical, okay? But a Sagittarius could be too showy, a little too show-offy, okay? So you got to find a middle ground between the two and just do your best work, and it won't go unnoticed. So you don't have to do a whole bunch of extra stuff. Or when you don't get noticed for the work that you're doing in your career, don't think, oh, it was me, I must have did something wrong. Just keep doing the best you, okay? And it'll go noticed. But don't try to overdo it. And don't beat yourself up if you feel like you did overdo it as nobody still noticed you. That's just how the world works sometimes. We're in retrograde. A lot of people don't know what's going on. A lot of people are just going with the motions, especially when you get to the workplace. You don't know what somebody else is going through in their home life, okay? When you get to school, when you get to the workplace, when you get out in the world, you don't know what somebody else experienced when they walk out of their own home. So try not to be overly critical of yourself, Sagittarius, if people don't notice you right away for the work that you're doing. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing the work, because guess what? Everybody who work get paid, okay? And the universe makes sure you get your due diligence as long as you stay aligned, all right? Capricorn, time to expand your world, literally and spiritually, okay, Capricorn? Virgo loves a good party and is lighting up your wild side. Yes, you know, Virgos, as they can put on a beautiful party, right? If you want someone to like really get your party together, find you a Virgo. They're gonna find all type of little decorations and things that you probably would have never found. They'll find a way to make things into things that, you know, take two things and make them into one thing that like pops. You know what I'm saying? They can put on a good party because they're very organized. So they're really good at event planning and stuff like that. So, you know, this is a time for a Capricorn is lighting up your wild side to get out of your comfort zone and put some things together for yourself, okay? Maybe a trip trip or a new class, but you need some type of new learning experience, okay? You need to see something else. Learning something or seeing something new will expand your perspective. So when you think about a Capricorn's wild side, it's not as wild as y'all. It's not as wild as other signs, okay? Because Capricorns are very grounded people, and they very money focused, so they don't step out of their routine a lot. But, you know, Virgo season has them ready to step out of their routine. And Capricorn, this is a good time for you to learn or see something new so you can expand your perspective. Okay, you need to expand your perspective so you can expand your world. Okay, a whole new world. Aquarius. Heavy, 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 heavy. Woo! The personal growth is real as fuck right now, Aquarius, huh? Because you got 2 full moons. You got the July full moon. Now you running up on August full moon. Uranus just went into retrograde. So it's getting kind of heavy for you, Aquarius. But you have Aquarius have a reputation for being unemotional or processing things like a robot. Okay, Aquarius is pretty much the sign of the future. It's the robot. It's the alien of the zodiac. Okay, so they have a reputation for being weird or seeing things through a non-human perspective, or, you know, like a robot or alien type of viewing things through those type of eyes. But Aquarius has got feelings too. Don't be thinking that, because guess what? I got a lot of feelings. I am an Aquarius sun. And yes, all of those things are true about me. I am strange. In my way of thinking, I do think outside of a human perspective. Sometimes I would think, if I was looking at ghetto ass Earth, a lot of times what I would be looking, if I was an alien, how would I would look at this ghetto ass place? You know what I'm saying? And I don't find that strange. You should have all type of different perspectives. But guess what? I'm also a Cancer moon, so I got feelings too. So don't be thinking just because I didn't respond to you in the way, emotional way, because a lot of times it's about taking your emotions out of it and putting logic into the situation. So you can't think because I didn't respond to you in an emotional way that I didn't feel what happened. But Aquariuses often just bottle those feelings up and they come out at the wrong time. And we don't want to do that anymore, Aquarius. This is not the time. During Virgo season, you need to type into analyzing things, and you're not bottling them up until you explode. It's time for some emotional housekeeping. Clear that shit out, address and clear the baggage, and set the boundaries, because most of the time the thing that you bottle up is because you realize that you didn't set the boundary, so you feel like there's nothing you can really do about it. Yes, there is. You can go back and you can address it and then set the boundary. So I know it's a heavy time for Aquarius. There's a lot of different changes and stuff going on with this full moon, round 2, and Uranus upgrade, retrograde. I keep saying upgrade because we are supposed to upgrade during retrograde, okay? So we could start calling them the upgrades. But, you know, it's just about clearing the baggage out and setting the boundary, Aquarius. Pisces, it's time to check in with you, okay? Check in with your loved ones and clean up affairs and be present. You know, Pisces have a way of checking out. And it's time for you to check back in, okay? Your needs, you need for you to be here, okay? You need you to be present. Not just everybody else around you, but you need you to be present right now. It's time for you to check back in and see what's going on so you can reevaluate what you need right now in this time, okay? So, you know, Virgo is all about being detailed and organizing things and stuff like that. So, Pisces, it's time for you to check in and see what you need. See what you need, okay? All right. So, back to Aries. Aries, where you at? Okay, Aries, time for a fresh schedule, fresh goals, and guess what? Also tapping into that practical Virgo energy of getting organized, okay? Aries, you're getting ready for the next season. You're getting ready for the fall. You got some career goals and stuff that you've been keeping in mind. The theme around Aries a lot have been, you know, relationships and how you see relationships and how you want to pursue romantic relationships. But now is the time for you to focus on you and kind of get organized and set your schedule so you can find out where you even had time for love at, okay? Taurus, good vibes and inspiration, art, romance, and hobbies are going to be big for you during Virgo season. Your fellow earth sign. Make time for things that bring you joy, and make sure you take mental health days, okay? Because you may go through some major shifts it changes as well because this retrograde, this new retrograde, Uranus retrograde is happening in your sign. So, you may go through some shifts and changes and, have little reflection periods of things that, go back to your own inner child work, okay? But it's a good time for you to just rest and really just get into the good vibes. Get into things that inspire you because, you both really tap into that Venus energy, okay? So you tap into that Venus energy and get into art, romance, and hobbies because Virgo is the ruler of the house of, wellness and self-care and those type of things. And I believe also hobbies. I believe our hobbies are also in the 6th house. Don't quote me on that. Look it up yourself. Gemini, summer is ending. So it's time to focus on home, okay? You've been outside. Gemini. And it's time to focus on home. Refresh your space, refresh your relationships, and untangle any messy emotional situations, okay? Any entanglements, any unresolved arguments, untangle that stuff up and focus on home, okay? Cancer, your mind is working and it's a good time for you to connect with your friends and be productive, okay? Sprucing up your social life can help your work dynamic. So your social life is being tied to your career right now. So, just really get in tune with your friends and be productive. Be productive. Take all those extra thoughts and stuff that you got going on and all these, all this extra mental power that you have and be productive. Push it towards something, okay? And last but not least, of course, never Leo. This is where we tap into Virgo's saving power. It's all about the money with you for Virgo season, Leo. Since Virgo rules the 6th house, the house of wellness, you see your worth and you're coming out of your season. You are ready to work for it. So are you really ready to work for what you're worth, Leo? Yes, you are. Are you ready to tell people what you're worth? Maybe if you are a business owner, it might mean price changes. It could mean promotion if you are employed. But you are coming out of your season ready to ask for your worth in Virgo season. And Virgo season is going to give you the inertia to push you into this work, okay? So, and also think budgeting. Budgeting, Leo. Budgeting. It's time to look at the budget, okay? And that is all I have for horoscope. So let's talk about this full moon. All right. So blue moons are very rare. So we got a couple rare things going on here, first of all. So we have all these planets in retrograde. And we have full moon in Aquarius, round 2, because July was a full moon in Aquarius. And now August has the full moon in Aquarius. And it is a blue moon. Have you seen it? Have you looked at it? Yeah, it's pretty out there. It's pretty big, okay? So, remember, when we're talking about full moons, let me make this point because it's very important. It's all about release and gratitude, not manifestation. You are not supposed to be manifesting under a full moon, okay? We do not manifest under the full moon. You manifest under a new moon. You reap your harvest and you give your gratitude and you release everything that you realize was not serving you from the new moon period when you set your manifestations. And because this is what happens. This is how the cycle goes. You set your intentions and your manifestations at the new moon, okay? And then as you doing the work, leading up to the full moon, you start to, maybe lose people, lose ideas like, okay, so this is what I really want to do now. And that's why you have to constantly keep doing it, because it's all about consistency. First of all, the universe responds to consistency just as much as it responds to hard work, intention setting, okay? You set your intention at the new moon. Okay, and you decide that this is what I want. This is what I want to do. So as you are working on those steps to get you to the place where you can see this intention manifested, things will fall off. Things will happen. You may attract things in this time. When you get to the full moon, whatever it is that you decided to let go that is not going to be beneficial to you, manifesting the intention that you set at the new moon, then you release it. It's all about release. And then you give gratitude for what you did obtain during this time, what you did manifest, the intentions that you did get to see come forth, for the harvest that you were able to reap, whether it's small or whether it was big, okay? Release and gratitude at the full moon. No manifestation, okay? Be who you are is what this Aquarius full moon is all about. We are focusing on your own needs, but proceed with caution because Uranus is in retrograde and it is the ruler of Aquarius, and that's unpredictable and unexpected change. So proceed with caution because your impulse will be high. You will feel the need to jump before it's time, okay? Don't proceed with everything with caution. Every decision you make, every place that you go, proceed with caution, okay? Because your impulses are going to be high and you should be focusing on your own needs by now. Take time to write 5 things you love about you. These are the things that we do under the full moon because, you know, we're giving gratitude. We want to be in a thankful heart, in a thankful state of mind. So when it's time for work that we continue our work after this and our period of rest after this, you know what I'm saying? When you get ready to lead up to the new moon and set your manifestations again, you're already in a place of gratitude. You're already in the right mind state to set your intentions because a lot of us might be like a hamster on a wheel when it comes to this intention and manifesting thing where we're not manifesting what we want. We're steady constantly asking for the same thing over and over again. We're not really seeing any results. It's time for you to go back and look and see what you might not have released or whether you're doing it with a grateful heart, okay? Full moons is all about exposure, too. Showing you where you might have dropped the ball at, where you might need to pick up some slack, where you might need to pick up the pace, or where you might need to slow your ass down, too, as well. So, positive affirmations. Speaking highly of yourself. Are you speaking highly of yourself, or do you dumb yourself down a lot? Oh, that was so stupid of me. Oh, I am so dumb. Oh, I am so slow. Stop talking to yourself like that. Even if you made a mistake. You just made a mistake. You're human. You're going to make mistakes, okay? But that is not a reason for you to talk down to yourself, okay? Acts of service. Acts of service, not for social media or anybody else, okay? Just for the edifying and the gratification of your own soul. You don't know. You know, if you really just can do an act of service and don't tell anybody else about it, it's going to feel good. I promise you. Instant gratification that comes from social media may feel good a little bit, where you show everything on people, show off all the wonderful things that you're doing. But it's more important to build up that internal gratification as well. Having a reserve of things that you can pull from, because if you don't speak highly of yourself and you don't do things out of the kindness of your heart, then you really don't have a lot to give back to other people. So let me use this as an example, because we're talking about full moon Aquarius. There's the Aquarius that an Aquarius that we all pretty much know, which is Oprah, and she is a firm believer in positive affirmations and speaking very highly of yourself so you can have a reserve to pull from to help other people. Because that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Being able to speak highly of myself so nobody can come and knock me down, and I have something to give back to everybody else. So make sure that you are practicing positive affirmations during this time, okay? And remember, pull from that Virgo energy, that Virgo about beauty, art, love, and ruling over the house of wellness and, you know, self-care and those type of things. Tap into all of that energy and take care of yourself. Speak highly of yourself, okay? And, you know, make sure that you are doing acts of service just out of the kindness of your heart, not to be seen, okay? Because it's all about growth and honesty. We need to grow up and we need to be honest. And, you know, this retrograde is bringing us a reality check that we really need, okay? So we can grow up. Here is another assignment. So one thing that I told you, make sure that you write 5 things that you love about yourself. Also, I want you to reflect back to 2018. We have social media and stuff now, so you might have had Snapchat back then. You might have had Facebook back then. You might have a way to go back and look at your old memories if you can't really jog your memory for 2018, because so many things have happened since 2018. So let me see. Benjamin, my 4-year-old, he was born in 2017. And right after that, now I've already been on my spiritual awakening path where I'm starting to see things, see the world different. I've always been that way, okay? Even when I was in church, I still had questions. I still believed in astrology. You know, I might not have practiced it much anymore, but I've always been a free thinker, okay? But when I look back at 2018, I was at a place where I was going into a very, very deep depression because the things that I knew were conflicting with the things I was allowing to happen, okay? And when you know better but don't do better, it's going to like literally eat you from the inside out because you're like, I know better, but I just keep doing this and I keep doing that and I keep on doing this and I know better. I know what I need to do to be better. But instead of taking that route, I was taking the route of where I wanted to just work and self-medicate. You know, I just wanted to work and be there for my kids. You know, I wasn't really focusing on, you know, what type of purpose. But then I was, okay? Then I picked up the momentum. You know what? I'm not going out like this, okay? Because I had a situation happen where I could have been taken out after I had my son. And it was just a couple things that happened, like very dangerous things that happened. I don't really want to get into the story right now. But, you know, I could have lost my life. I could have lost everything, okay? And my kids would not, who would be here raising my kids? Exactly. So I was like, I'm not going out like this, okay? So I started getting more into myself. I started tapping back into my creativity. So I need you to go back to 2018 and, you know, what changes have occurred for your life since 2018? What type of shifts? What type of, you know, things that was happening in 2018 that's definitely not happening now? You know, I ain't going for it now. What type of growth has occurred for you since 2018? And what type of trauma might have occurred for you since 2018 that you might need to heal from? Because that's when this retrograde, this is when Uranus moved into Taurus, was in 2018. This retrograde is just starting now, but this is when Uranus moved into Taurus. So when we're talking about this full moon in Aquarius, Uranus being the ruler of Aquarius, we're going back to 2018 and figuring out what type of trauma might have stifled us, or what type of growth do we need to compound on to be able to move forward in this time. And also remember, because I don't get into this a lot, you know what I'm saying? I need to study it more. But this is why it's Ratchet Astrology, because we beginners and we doing this together. But I do need to get into the anatomy of astrology, where it talks about what signs rule over what certain body parts. So I did get into that a little bit because this is round 2. So this, you know, this is round 2 of a full moon. And I haven't seen this happen, okay? Since I've been doing this is my first time seeing anything like this. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get a little bit deeper and talk about the anatomy as well, because all of those constellation rules over certain parts of your body as well, okay? So for Aquarius, it rules over the calves and ankles, and I believe also the circulatory system. And that's why, and if you think about it, the circulatory system and the calves and legs, when people start having blood pressure issues and problems and stuff like that, and you start seeing things where people have to have parts of their body amputated, it always starts down here by the legs, ankles, feet, and stuff like that, right? So anyway, calves and ankles, this, I found a recommendation to get your circulation going through your calves and ankles, which Aquarius rules. Hot towel wraps with essential oils. Don't that sound like that feel good, to wrap a hot towel just around your calves and your ankles with the essential oils? And the essential oils that was recommended was lavender and eucalyptus. Essential oils can also be found through Oral Droid, through Soul Shop 419, okay? And meditation. Meditation is key. Meditation is key in any season, under any full moon, new moon. Meditation is key because we have to stay grounded and we need to stay in touch with ourselves, okay? And that's where we get our downloads at from the universe, you know, little downloads from spirit telling us about things, okay? And I'm going to give you an example. So one time while I was meditating, I fell asleep. I do it often. It's just, I get so peaceful and I just fall asleep. But I fell asleep, and in this dream, I was teaching and I don't dream often. So when I dream, it's significant. I was teaching my kids our own language. Like before we were just in a place, a place of wealthy state. And, you know, as a protection, I felt in this dream that I needed to teach my kids our own coded language. So I'm teaching the kids this coded language, and I woke up and I wrote some of it down in my grimoire or whatever, and make sure that you're journaling and make sure that you're putting your little rituals and things like that inside of a grimoire, okay? I keep my journal and my grimoire kind of separate. Little things that I come up for magic purposes, you know what I'm saying? I keep in my grimoire, and then I journal my personal feelings and emotions into my journal, okay? So I go back in, so I can have things separated, like even the Ratchet Astrology Journal is this right here, you know, shine like the universe, shine like the, what, like the whole universe. I didn't know what that W word was. Is yours, okay? This is what I do Ratchet Astrology in. So I have a few journals, but I woke up and I journaled it. But then 3 weeks later, or which would be like a week ago, I'm on TikTok and I'm seeing all of this stuff about tuck-knees. I had never heard anything about tuck-knees, but that was a download that came from Spirit, because this is what they was doing on the collective. And then I am a big part of the TikTok community. It's like my favorite social media platform right now, and it's where I have the most followers. So it's nothing for Spirit to download something like that. Like, you know, I'm already teaching my kids my own language in a dream, and then I get on social media later and realize that this is where they've been at during the collective. That is the power of meditation, okay? Keeping you in tune. So that is what I have for you for full moon. Now I'm going to do a full moon tarot reading, okay? Okay. So I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot because it just seems like a really good deck to use when you're doing astrology readings as well. It's too, it got a lot of little astrology things and stuff that you catch when you see these cards. So with this full moon in Aquarius, we're going to do 7 cards, 7 themes, 7 questions, 7 things to think about, okay? All right, so the first card is all about what you need, okay? So the first thing that came up is the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is all about a clear set of rules and authority, okay? And look who's over there in the corner. That is Uranus. That is Uranus right there in the corner of this first card that pulled when it asks what you need, okay? A clear set of rules, setting boundaries. You need to set some boundaries, and you need to, you know, take back your freedom. That's what this retrograde is all about. Now, look, it's on the first card that we pulled, Uranus, King of Swords, the king of what? Ideas. All right, clear set of rules and authority. So the next thing is what you want, because we know what you need and what you want is totally different. And of course, it got something to do with Pentacles, because we all need money in this time, don't we? So Pentacle, we have 8 of what? Pentacles, resources. So what you want is mastering hobbies and vocational matters. So you want to become the master of what it is that you do, okay? Figure out what it is that you want to do and what's holding you back from doing it, and do it, okay? Number 3, what's taking away from your personal power? The Tower. What is that? What is that all about? Truth, man-made truth, and sudden changes. Because what is this retrograde about, y'all? Breaking away and getting into your personal freedom, okay? So what's holding you? What does it say holding you back? The truth. You are not being your true self. You are not walking in your truth. You are, and look what else is up here that I wrote up here for this card. Sudden change. Say this ain't about retrograde and full moon and Aquarius right now, okay? Sudden change. Get to your truth, okay? That's what's holding you back. The fourth is what's testing your resilience. So what's making what's testing you, okay? What's making you want to give up, basically. The Erophant. Am I saying that right, y'all? The Guru. Help from wise people or large organizations. So maybe you're not getting the help that you need. Maybe your idea, you feel like it's too big and, you know, it's not working out locally. You don't have enough friends to put this idea in rotation, and you need help from larger organizations or from wiser people who know better than you what to do, okay? So this is what it's saying, is testing your resilience, testing your will to give up, because it's like you're not getting the help that you need. You need more help. You need more help. Okay. So how are you acting impulsively? Because I told you with this full moon in Aquarius, it's on the brink of going into Pisces. It's going to cause you to want to act more on impulse, but you should proceed with caution. So how are you acting impulsively? And this, the Queen of Swords. Now, we already got the King of Swords and what we need. But what's causing us to act impulsively, it says the Queen of Swords, and it's all about personal suffering, sidestepping emotions, and speaking the truth. Speaking the truth. Don't do it too impulsively, okay? We don't want to keep sidestepping our emotions now, okay? And inner strength through personal suffering, okay? So once you break free, you might want to act on impulse and, you know, go out and check some people that you realize have wronged you or whatnot, but don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know, sit with those emotions, process them, and try to analyze them in a very mature way, okay? Don't just go out cussing people out when you realize that you've been wrong, okay? So the next one, where are you trying to take charge with things you can't control? So what are you trying to control that you cannot control? The Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, okay? Restriction, fear, and being able to choose healing and light. Okay? Choose healing and light. You cannot control a lot of things that have kept you, you know, restricted. And, you know, you see all these swords and stuff popping up because this is the theme around Uranus, remember that Aquarius is an air sign and is also ruled by Uranus, okay? So where are you trying to take charge with things you can't control? The Eight of Swords, okay? But one thing you need to realize about the Eight of Swords is that this is more about personal restriction, okay? This is about you keeping you locked up, you keeping you restricted, walking in fear. So it's all about just walking in healing and light. And if you have to, this is your surrender. This is your call to say the serenity prayer, to accept the things that you cannot change and the wisdom to know the difference, okay? And last but not least, how to cultivate patience, understanding, and compassion, because you need that more than you need money right now in these times, because things are going to test you. And guess what comes up? The Destiny card, the Wheel of Fortune. Knowing that your fate is already set. Your destiny is already set and no one can stop it. And that is how you will cultivate patience and understanding and compassion for other people when you feel like they're trying to stop you, or they don't believe in your dream or your vision, or they're not trying to push you. You push you because it's already written, okay? And that is our full moon tarot reading, okay? All right, so that concludes our episode of Ratchet Astrology, and I hope that you guys are able to get through this full moon and this Virgo season and this Uranus retrograde with all the healing, all the love, all the light, because it's all about growth and honesty, okay? That's it. Growth and honesty. We're just growing up here, so you're going to experience some growing pains, but you're going to be so much better on the other side. So I will see you at the new moon, okay, in September. All right. So enjoy your time, enjoy your rest, enjoy your peace, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.